right, guys, welcome back. My name's Cameron, and with me, I got
Chad Schneider.
And we're here again with you guys. Before we start this week, I just wanted to say a word about my friend and teammate, Andreas Holler. We unfortunately lost Andreas 2 weeks ago, the time of this recording. He was an amazing player, friend, fiance, son, just an amazing all-around guy. Played Broomball for years, started in the Finch Youth Broomball League, then went to play juvenile with Sting, and he started the Warriors juvenile Broomball team that I now coach. Words can't describe how much the entire Broomball community in our area and across Canada will miss him, and I am immeasurably sad to have him leave, and I want to make sure he's never forgotten. So I'm leaving this as a small video memorial that will forever be on YouTube for generations. That being said, we will have to move on to a more positive note, and that is this week's podcast topic. So some think they're the most important player of the team. Some of you think they're crazy. I mean, we stand in front of 60-mile-an-hour shots and don't flinch. Just take it in the face if that's what the closest body part is. We're a breed of their own, they say. You probably guessed it. This week we're talking about goalies.
Hell yeah.
We have two guests with us. Who we got coming in?
We've got Wade Chambly. He's a retired goaltender from the Laval province, but played the majority of his senior career in Ontario with the Ottawa Nationals. And second guest is Connor Roy. He's a current netminder for the Manitoba Bisons out of Manitoba there, a men's team, and they are becoming a force to be reckoned with. Great to have both these players on with us tonight, the podcast. So I can't wait to get ahead and start asking them some questions to see what they got to say.
Perfect. Let's bring them in here.
Right on.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Outstanding. How you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. Thanks for agreeing to show your faces and talk with us for a while. This week's agenda is goaltenders. I'm sure, as you guys are aware, myself and Cam are both goalies too, and we're excited about this podcast.
Very much so.
Yeah. Coming to you live from the goal line.
Right on.
So I guess we'll start off. We'll ask you a few questions the way it goes, and we'll each give you a chance to answer and carry on. Typically, we start with one and wait till they're done talking, ask the other same question, and then carry on with the next one. So first question we got up and coming is basically about Broomball. Like, when did you start playing and how did your career start? We'll start with you, Connor.
Yeah, I was about 12 years old, and then I moved around a lot when I was younger, and I ended up settling down in a town called St. Claude. It's like 600 people. And some of the guys were talking about this sport called Broomball, and they're like, well, you can't skate very well, so you might as well try out on with some shoes. I'm like, okay. So go there, and I'm just a forward and slipping everywhere, no good. And there's just a little tournament they had going on, and they threw me a net. They thought I was pretty flexible, so I'd be good. But no, I got lit up, and I don't know, just kept on sticking with it, and just fell in love with it.
Right on. Good to hear. Wade, yourself?
For myself, I grew up in a little area just north of Ottawa in the western Quebec side, a little over an hour north. And during when I grew up, we actually didn't have a local arena. So all our broomball and hockey was like a 10-game season where we would, everything was outdoors. So From an early age, I was on the outdoor rinks beside our elementary school, playing every recess and lunch hour that we could get an opportunity to go out and play. And then from there, we finally ended up getting an arena locally when I was a teenager, and then played some midget and juvenile teams, going to provincials. And then as a teenager growing up, we had a local sort of 8-team men's league where we had actually quite a few good players come out of that league, and then continue playing with that men's team and playing leagues in Eastern Ontario and tournaments, provincials. And also during that time played a bit out of Kempville College and also out of McGill University, and played in some local men's leagues. And it wasn't long after that where I joined with the Nationals. So that's a bit of a snapshot where I started playing.
Right on.
Very cool. So there's always been a little stigma around goalies that we're different or weird. You guys, is there any truth to that? Do you guys feel like when you're in a group of forwards, you guys are just the weird guy, or Connor?
Oh yeah, we're a little different, but you can throw those forwards in net and you take one off the beak and they're out of there. So yeah, you throw in a goalie and they take a couple shots off the head and they're sticking with it. So I don't know, goalies just built differently.
Wade, do you agree, or?
Totally echo that one with Connor. I kind of consider myself out of the goalie world one of the normal ones, but we had to be a little bit quirky in order to be standing in front of that rubber ball coming in pretty quickly at us. I even think back at times at elementary school when like just playing in local rinks and no mask, no helmet, and like that, playing in the net and getting a shot in the face with one of those black frozen broom balls and chipping a tooth and stuff like that. And then jumping right back in there, slap on an old Jerry Cheevers mask, and away we go. So yeah, I got to be a little bit crazy to be playing the sport, I guess. But yeah, we are cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, I agree with you guys there too. I find that even that stigma follows us outside of playing goalie, because I know when I'm hanging around with my teammates and stuff, and if I do something just weird or different, they're like, "Ah, it's okay, he's a goalie." It just is what it is.
Free pass.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I mean, start Stephen Young when you're in school playing floor hockey and things like that. Just stick in and go. And I mean, reaction time is another big one, right? So, so I guess as we're talking and things like that, we know we're kind of a different breed. But I guess start with you, Wade. But what do you feel is your biggest weakness as a goalie? Like, glove side, 5-hole, blocker.
No, great question. And I would have to say glove side, just on the aspect, it's so much easier to cover the rest of the net with the blocker, and then lower with your legs and your stick, also in the 5-hole space. We're kind of at a bit of a disadvantage with the glove side. I grew up and I tried to start using just a regular soccer glove, but I moved to do more of a hockey glove style just after dislocating a few with the soccer style one. But I just find you don't cover as much net on that side, so you're just naturally more prone to have goals scored against you on the glove side. That's just my general thoughts.
Connor?
Yeah, no, definitely the glove side and the 5-hole are like wide open for me, but I'm pretty confident in most of my game. I think it's just being undersized. Like, I head down to the States there and their nets are even bigger. Like, I can run right under them and not hit my head. So I don't know, undersized is a big thing for me, but for sure the 5-hole is just, I hate that.
Yeah, the 5-hole was a weakness for myself as well. That lower side, I was like to stand up more and I like to go down, that's for sure. And I mean, like you said, with the glove side there, wearing a soccer goalie glove, I wore it too until I got 2 fingertips smashed from a broom trying to go at it when you're covered up. So
yep,
that changed in a heartbeat for me. So
did you flip to the hockey style glove, or?
No, I just put a Broomball glove on. There's a little bit more padding there on the tips, right? So I mean, I found that I didn't have enough movement with my fingers to cover the ball and stuff with the hockey glove. So
yeah, see, I'm stuck. I love the soccer glove just for the padding on the front, and it grips the ball really well. But I can't even straighten my pinky here because I broke it in a warm up. I of course played the game, but I can't leave it. But we're built different, right? So
Right.
Good point, Connor, with regards to the American style nets. It's an eye opener once you start going playing in some of those tournaments down there, and you realize it feels like a full size soccer net. The difference in the size. So the way you play in Canadian nets versus the American larger nets is totally different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I was playing the Can-Am tournament and Worlds. Oh, I guess Worlds is our size, but the Can-Am tournament where they use the big ones, you notice the difference. You can tell who's a Canadian goalie and who's an American goalie, because those American goalies, they play about 30 feet in front of their net just to cut off the angles, and they're always running out. And then the Canadians are sitting back, but they're getting scored on high because they're not getting those angles cut off like the Americans are used to. But
I was prone to be a little bit farther outside the net for any of me have seen me play in the past. So
You got to get in their way.
exactly.
All right, Connor. So, what's your biggest pet peeve as a goalie? It could be something your teammates do, something from the crowd, just something on the ice. I know for me, it's when players don't block a shot and they tip it. Either get out of the way or block it completely. I don't know if that's the same for you guys, but what do you think, Connor?
Oh yeah, 100%. I can't stand it when D-man's right in front of you. Looks like it's going top blocker, then it shoots right down your like bottom side there. I hate that. You got to give him a good shake. Like, come on, either block it or get out of the way.
Or trust you, or throw a little trust in you, right? Like,
yeah.
Just move. Let me take it. Wade, are you on page with us or is something else?
Yeah, on the same page as you guys. Just want to let me be able to see it so I can stop it. If you're not going to block it, make sure you're out of the way. But I also looked at this from a different aspect of the pet peeves, and I looked at this from an off the ice and on the ice part. For me, it was more of a off the ice. My pet peeves is guys that wouldn't commit to the teams, and always more of a sort of just come when it's convenient to them. And then also on the ice, it was one of my pet peeves is somebody taking that selfish penalty during a key part of a game. That was one of my key pet peeves. Now, not specifically goaltender oriented, but it was just, those are some of my pet peeves when I played.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had a game last night. We were down by 2 goals, but we had a lot of pressure, and then we took a penalty in the last 3 minutes, which is, you can't pull your goalie and get extra man out there if you're taking a dumb penalty at the end of the game. So,
no, I know what you're saying too there, Wade, especially the commitment level, right? Like, I don't know what it is about the goalies, but I mean, Cam's into coaching now. I'm heavy into coaching myself, and part of the game, you get to watch the game and be part of it. But I mean, they used to get mad at me because I got really angry at guys who didn't show up. And, oh, Mr. Broomball's talking again. Look out. But you know what? I love this sport. I love everything about it. So I want it to thrive and continue. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing and volunteering the way I am. And hopefully we can keep it going. So.
Right on. Kudos to both these guys for volunteering your time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. And back to the same old thing where goalies are weird and we're on our thing. Like, do you guys have a pregame ritual that you tend to do something before a game? Is there something you get yourself psyched up for or anything like that? I know my nerves got the best of me as I even got older. It got worse. I used to throw up before any big game. The guys used to laugh their asses off and say, oh yeah, here we go. But so Wade, I guess we'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah, I played with a lot of, actually, in hockey. Some good friends of mine were goaltenders, and they were the same as you, Chad. They always had that nauseous feeling before every time they went on the ice. So they'd be pundling with all their pads on, trying to get to the washroom. I guess for myself, as pregame rituals, I guess was more of a team aspect. We would, as the Nationals, we would always sit in the same spots in the dressing room, no matter what, as part of whenever we're on a winning streak. It was always interesting whenever we're going from one arena to another during that streak. And if there's different logistics on the way things are set up and the arguments that would happen on where exactly we're supposed to be sitting within that dressing room. So that was always a bit of entertainment. And then for myself personally was I would always put the equipment on exactly the same way, every piece of equipment the same. And I always take the time to go into the hallway. I would take time and do stretches, and also have somebody flick the ball against me just to get a feel for the ball. So those were kind of some of my key pregame rituals that I used to follow.
Yeah, and then I guess when you get on the ice before the game, is there something special you do in the crease, like tap the post, the pads, anything quirky like that?
I was a post guy. I always did that, the post taps before that initial face off.
Yeah, there you go. Connor?
Oh yeah, no. Every time I walk into the rink, there, I gotta look at the rink, gotta visual myself out there, and then once that's all done, jump into the room there, get some Under Armour on, and just start jumping around. I don't know, just gotta get the blood flowing. Uh, then once I get all my equipment on there, it's I get dialed in. I just do like little shuffles with the pads and the blocker, just visualizing the ball coming at me. And then I don't know if you guys ever seen any Winnipeg Jets games, but Connor Hellebuck, when he does that crazy eye thing, looks back and forth really fast. So I like to do that too. I think I started it for him, but whatever.
He stole it from you.
Yeah, I think he did.
He was watching too many Bison games, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, then once I hit the ice, I just slide into the crease and got to give the post and crossbar a good love tap. And yeah, then I got to tap my own helmet there, and then I'm ready to go, dialed in.
Right on.
Yeah, we're all pretty weird. I don't know. For me, I just couple taps on the post, but then throughout the entire game, I'm wailing on my shins for some reason. They make a cool loud noise, and I'm always just banging on it. I don't know, get the team going or something, but I just have to do it. I don't know what it is. On to the next one. We got a big gold medal game here. It's a 3-on-2. Your team took a penalty. Who are those two guys in front of you in overtime that you trust out there? Also, I know my team, a lot of it, you almost essentially put one of those two guys on a player, and the goalie takes one player specifically. I usually like the top guy, let my two in front of me take the sides, and I'm just direct shot from the middle. I've talked to other goalies who like it from the left side, blocker side, or glove side. Who are your two in front of you, and what in overtime? Connor, let's start with you.
I have to stick with my teammates on this one. Reg Robidoux is one of them. Like, he's one of the best players out there. I don't know. He can do everything. One thing though, he's not very good at blocking shots. Like, if he blocks a shot, he bruises hard. Holy cow. He has huge welts on him. But no, when he blocks a shot, he definitely does that. His Broomball IQ is like unreal. Like, he always finds the right play, and if he can't find a play to make, he'll just run it up and he'll walk guys like it's nothing. So he's got to be one of them for sure. And then another one of my teammates, probably Nathan Mazrat. He's a big guy. Like, if there's anybody in front of the crease there, he'll shove them out of the way, no problem. He could probably do two at a time, really. Yeah, and he blocks shots like an animal out there. So yeah, it's got to be those two guys for sure.
Yeah, Nate's a great player. He played with my team in Worlds, actually, in Minnesota. He was great to have on the team. I was like, I want to play with that guy again, but you guys live a little fire. But
oh yeah.
Now, if you're taking that shot in overtime, where are you wanting it from? Do you want it from the top, blocker side, glove side?
No, it'd probably have to be right at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it right in front of me. I'll take
easier
the whole
to
net
square up.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Wade, what about you? Who you got your faith in?
This one's interesting. Is at least I could narrow this down to when we got rid of 4-on-4 with no goalies. So I'm of an era that when I started out, we were doing a lot of 4-on-4 with no goalies. So I was unfortunately on the bench for a lot of heartbreaking games and sitting and watching that ball roll from the red line into the open net. So I was super appreciative of the fact they changed that rule and did the 3-on-3 with the goalie. And to me, it made the game a lot more exciting. But this one was a super hard one to try and decipher down to a couple guys. And I guess for the way we used to look at it with the Nationals is I used to always want it from the side. We never wanted it coming down the middle. So we'd have one guy taking the one lower guy and then another one taking up the upper guy. Usually we'd have a defenseman in the back end and then more of a forward at the front. So if I'm talking about it in the sort of more of a two position aspect, that's kind of how I would look at it. To me, it would go back and forth on left or right. It didn't really matter. It was more based on what personnel they had out and where their big shot was coming from. So that's how we sort of went at it. If I had a preference, I prefer my left side so that my glove hand is short side. So that would be always usually my go-to preference. As far as guys on who, I guess if I was looking at the defenseman, I can't narrow it down to one, but a natural automatic would be like a Lance Outekirk or a Tyler Hughes, Swinney or Butter in that space, just big and strong. They're going to win those battles and they'll block shots. They'll be right there, and they always win those low battles. And then also a little shout out with regards to like a Joey Hillis, always in the right spot and making sure the simple plays as well. So Bugsy was always great back there. If I was looking at the top guys, so then it'd be looking at more of a forward who had that sort of explosive talent, that to be able to give that threat up top, so that when if that shot got blocked, they could potentially be gone the other way down the ice. So it was always that threat. So they had to really respect that person that's up high. So I'd be looking at probably one of the Norman boys, like a Jamie or Jason, or even like a Joey Keeley, somebody that could block and then just be gone with the ball as well. So that's how the way I would look at it. So I know I didn't just do two, but that was sort of, and to me, I'm not doing justice for all the guys that I played with, because there's so many great players there that were able to play that.
You could list your whole team.
Yeah,
pretty much. And that's where I feel like I'm doing a disrespect to some of these guys. So
No, I understand where you're coming from. It's always nice to have a bigger guy who's not afraid to block shots. I mean, that's why we've got Squinny's son on my team that I coach there now, and he doesn't
Right
fall
on.
far from the tree. He's out there ready to block shots just like his dad. So
awesome.
never mind having him in front of us. So it's good.
That's right on. Well, yeah, everyone has those players, and it's hard to narrow it down, for sure. Especially when you played so many years and played on so many great teams and played with such high caliber players, right? So
I was lucky.
yeah. So on to the next question. So this is kind of we talked about who you like in front of you. Now it's like, who is the best player you've ever played against as a goalie? Like the one that, you know, always had your number, always could just come down the ice and bury it. We'll start with you, Connor.
Wade mentioned him. It's got to be Joe Keeley. This guy is unreal. Like, if he's in close, you're not pushing him off the ball. He's so heavy on it. Like, and you don't want circles either, because I've seen just look on goals here. There, it's unreal. It's a heavy shot. Like, he just always seems to find a way. Like, oh, I just hate playing against that guy. He always finds a way.
Yeah, Wade.
Another tough one as well. So many great players across the country that I've had the chance to play against over the years, but I looked at it from two aspects. So from when I was a real young goaltender as a teenager, and here in my backyard in the Gatineau Valley, was a player by the name of Dennis Daly, who was playing at the high level during that time, and always pushed me. And I learned a lot from him in the ways that he used to beat me left, right, and center all the time when I was a young kid. And then if it was later on from when I was playing elite ball, the one that I would I thought of so many different guys, and there's so many great players, but the one that really stood out to me, I kept circling back on that potential threat, was the late Michel Tanguay from the Frost. He just had that natural agility, pure power from a shot from the forehand backhand, and always one of those shots that always had a bit of movement, and you never know which way it's going to go. And he could do it off the run, kind of similar from like what Joey can do. He's really good at running and off the run to do that shot. Tanguay was very similar in that aspect. So if I had to break it down to one individual person, I guess it would be him.
Very good. For me, it's actually my teammate now. Thank goodness, Matt Burns. He's anytime, even if he fans on it, seems to go in on me. I just can't stop him. I don't know. I don't know. It must be in my head now. I let a couple goals in. Now it's just automatically going in. I should just move out of the way if he's coming down. But anyways, talking about terrible memories, what is your best broomball memory, whether off the ice at a tournament or winning or losing? Probably not losing, but Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I probably would have had to been back in 2017 in Alma. There, it was my first year starting for the
2014 or 17?
2017 there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We didn't go there with a strong team, but I knew I didn't want to let my teammates down. It'd be my first time starting and going against the elite level there, and I ended up winning an all-star jersey, but it wasn't really winning. It was just that I knew that I could. It was a confidence boost that I knew I could play against elite players. Like, yeah, because when I was a kid, just watching them, it was unreal. I didn't think I could play at that level. Then, yeah, that all-star jersey kind of gave me a boost of confidence there.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. It's like a recognition that
Wait.
I can stand with these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
What
For
about you,
myself, same. It's hard to narrow down to one. I guess for me, it's two that I'd have to say. I can't narrow it down to one specific one. For me, it was the 2009 Nationals in Saskatoon, where we defeated the Frost. It was kind of like a redemption and in essence, kind of getting over the hump against this team. We had some heartbreaking losses against them in the previous few years, and just couldn't quite get there with a world or a national. So that one was a big one, just getting over that hump and winning that national there. It was also had the fortunate it was the MVP of that gold medal game. And then the other one that stands out to me was the Worlds in 2012 in the Ottawa Valley, where we went wire to wire undefeated throughout the tournament. And the team really, in essence, defensively played amazing. And I unfortunately was able to win the MVP of that tournament as well. So to me, that one was really special because it was in our backyard. And so I had a lot of friends and family that were in attendance during that one, and even some my young kids that were in the stands. So that one was pretty special to me. But even as I was kind of trying to grasp and pull which ones really stood out for me on all the different tournaments and teams I was on, and I was thinking about all these memories, and to be honest, I really enjoyed looking back at it, and it was a nice reflection. But to me, there was almost a moment in time that was really special to me through it, all the different teams and the wins throughout. And it was that period of time. And if you, sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but if you guys will bear with me for a second here, it was just kind of an aspect that was to me was almost, it was a reflection. It stood out on each one of those wins. So pretty much after you win, that a whole on ice celebration aspect, you go back in the dressing room, there's initial hoopla, you're cheering it up and stuff like that. Then everybody gets showered up and everybody's just sitting around, their feet's up on the bag, beers in the hand, and everybody just sits back and reflects on what you've done as a team and achieved from whether it's the week-long tournament that you're at. It's huge. And it was, to me, it was a sort of it was at a very small window, a 30-minute window, where it's right at the end of the tournament. Nobody's pushing you out of the dressing room. Nobody's coming to sort of say there's another game. It's kind of like sort of a bit of a relax and sort of, whew, we did it. And the only thing that was a pressure was to go get to the banquet. And I know we were late for a few of those, but to me, that was sort of a key thing is I cherish those moments with regards to that 30-minute window where we just sit back, beer in our hands, feet up on the bags, and just recognize what we accomplished as a group. And every one of those groups that we won was a different group, and sort of the dynamics were a little bit different every time. But that 30 minutes was always important to me when I look back on this. So thanks.
Well said, Wade. I couldn't agree more. Like, I don't know how many times, even in tournaments here in Saskatchewan, like the Gold Broom and things like that, after winning that, and just sitting in the room and the camaraderie with the guys and just talking with the guys and reflecting back, like, we finally did it, we won this thing. And
it could be any tournament. It could be any tournament. It could be just a local tournament. Just at the end of the night, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning when you're finished off and you're just kicking back, relaxing, and everybody's just have that camaraderie with that beer in their hand. Yeah.
That's a great point.
For me, it can come down to a whole year. Like it's not just that camaraderie after a single game. Like my favorite memory is my whole 2014 year. Just the whole group of guys I got to play with was amazing. We didn't even win nationals. We came, I think we got B-side gold, and I've won a gold medal before. But that year, just with that group of guys, hanging out with them and losing as a team felt great. Yeah. And it's all about who you play with, and it's awesome when you get that feeling. Kind
of those moments where you wish you could just push pause on because it's not going to last very long, and it's only a very very small window.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so hard to narrow it down. Like, if I was to narrow it down for myself, there's two that come to mind. One is, I played 12 minutes and 48 seconds of period 2 against L'Assomption at the 1998 Senior Nationals in Regina. and I ended up winning game MVP of that game with playing in the second period with 12 minutes and 37 or I can't remember, with 38 seconds left in the game, and they never scored on me. The score was like 6-0, and at the end of it, it was 6-4, and it was my first time ever playing senior nationals, so it was fantastic. And then the next one for me was actually winning nationals with Silver Screen in 01 in Calgary, beating Embro. Like, that was a huge deal.
Absolutely. Those are some big teams.
All right.
So,
well, thanks guys for joining us this week. It's been really cool talking to other goalies about goaltending. There's not a lot of us out there, so it's nice when we get this opportunity. Anything you guys want to say before we take off?
I just want to say thanks for
Go
having
ahead,
me.
Connor.
Here. I just want to say thanks just on this on this call here on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Wade, any last words?
Just thanks for the opportunity to come out. It was really neat just to go back and reflect on a lot of great memories when playing Broomball. So just want to give a shout out to and thanks to volunteers like yourself in the sport. Without guys like you, we wouldn't have had an opportunity to play such a great sport and travel and meet so many great people across this country and across the world for that matter. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you guys. Thanks a lot again. Hey, thanks for accepting and thanks for coming.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Well, until next month, you guys have a good one. Rest in peace, Dank.
Night.